Bara kolla runt att vi har typ varit överallt. Jag undrar bara när det ska bli... Den verkar ju vara aktiverad. Vänta, jag ska rida ut och kolla på den där innan vi drar härifrån. För de var ju svagt gråa innan. Nu var det ju ändå feting där.
And some of your numbers served as shield.
Eftersom man kan lätt fast travla sen så här.
Good girl.
Jag är bara nyfiken på om det är någonting eller ingenting där eller allting där. De har gått upp i levels här. Nu ska vi se. Vad är det här?
This one's awake.
Precis. Chronoliths. Chronoliths are similar to Areta stone in that within them is a hidden virtual battlefield accessible by Clive and Clive alone. Each chronolith presents Clive with a time trial in which he must combat continuous waves of deadly enemies equipped only with a feat and abilities of single icon. Oh.
Let's see what's inside.
Nej. Vi har inga sådana krav på mig, tänkte jag just nu. Då drar vi hit då. North Reach, där hon som har hand om The Bruffle.
First we find Isabel.
I saw it with my own eyes.
Då finns det ju, borde den också, precis, alla de där trials har vaknat till liv nu då. Är någonting som man kan göra senare, tänker jag.
I can't do it.
The Lord. The lady.
We received the dame's message. There have been sightings of strange creatures, I understand.
With the blue eyes. Yes. Like a Kashik, but different. They've taken so many. I've lost count.
Akashic, but different.
Ultimus thralls. And what of your mistress? Is she here?
Oh, no. She went to the garrison to ask what they were planning on doing about all this.
Then we'll look for her there.
Why we fight. Quest accepted. Här har vi ändå ett ställe vi inte kommit till ännu. The Morn Broom. I övrigt så ser det faktiskt ut som att vi har hittat allt eller varit överallt här.
More arrived from the capital this morning.
Schysst ljussättning här med att det ligger lågt.
The two soldiers were carrying an...
Madame, please! Half the garrison's been slaughtered by those things. We lost the captain this very morning.
We've tried requesting reinforcements, but there's been no word from the capital or the Dominion in days. What more would you have us do?
I would have you do your duty. Those at the Vale look to me for protection. And protect them I shall. Because they are my charges, and that is my duty. In case you have forgotten, the people of this town are your charges. But more than that, they are your people. Your sisters, your brothers, your lovers. So you have a choice. Lay down your sword and watch as they are slaughtered. Or take it up and do what is right.
She speaks the truth, you know. This here, it's all we have. It's all that's left.
What we have left is our lives. Do you really want us to
Det där byggnaden i bakgrunden här.
Not if we don't have
Jag får liksom en lite känsla av
There's a cask.
Castlevania liksom.
Let's
talk about this over a drink.
Transylvanien eller var man är i där med Count Dracula.
I'm listening.
När man springer med Simon Belmont.
I'll have a word with him.
Count Dracula.
Ah, Clive. I didn't expect help to arrive so quickly. And sought to take matters into my own hands.
It was a noble effort, but I thought you might still need some support.
How like you to consider my needs.
What we need to consider is where the creatures came from.
The way the survivors speak of them, one would think they appeared out of thin air. And perhaps they did. It's hard to know what to believe these days.
We'll talk to the survivors.
Mhm.
You're a pikeman, yes? What happened?
I've got family in Moor. I heard the flood was spreading, so I went to see if they were all right. And a pack of them glowing things found me in the meadow. I ran for my life. I never did get to the village.
Leave that to us.
My family. They're still in the capital.
Only me, Pa.
Det var ju dumt att de fortfarande är i huvudstaden.
Did you see the creatures that attacked you?
Creatures? Yeah, they came out of nowhere. They went for Joseph first, then me, and then they were just gone.
Do you remember where you were?
On the road from Oriflamme. We just passed Moor when... Where's my Joseph?
It's all right. Just rest now. At least we have an idea of where the thralls might be now. We should head for more.
We're heading for more. Or less.
Yeah!
Jävlar vilken fart hon har. Det var här ute rasisterna försökte få mig mördad förut. De gick bet på det. Så skaffade de en större varg. Så blev de själva uppkäkade. För att den vargen de skaffade det var en större varg med större tänder och you name it. It's trouble brewing.
Clive, look.
I see them. With me.
To me, flames!
Should I prime?
Save your strength.
Save your strength!
You're finished.
Men... Så. Men det är inte dig jag vill slåss mot.
It's over.
Så, nu kör vi då. Jag tänkte lika bra aktivera den här nu när det kommer en... Mer än besvär... Oj, shit! Ska vi ta tillbaka min hälsa då? Oj då. Oj då. Oh, yes, staggered. Jag tänkte säga, kommer jag dö här nu? Men nej! Jag hade ju potion att ta om jag hade velat. Ja, nästan en level då. Är vi uppe här igen. Så mycket att säga om de fighterna.
Do you think there are more?
Yes.
There are always more. But I'd say we've done what we can for the time being.
Then we should let Isabel know.
You have the town's thanks.
Don't thank us yet. There will be more. Many more. And you'll need to be ready for them.
Oh, we shall. Isn't that right, Captain?
Yes, milady. The garrison will be ready.
Philippe here has convinced most of the men to remain at their posts. For now, at least.
Hearing that the
Så, nu
Dane
kör
would
vi
look
ändå. Hallå
kindly on
allesammans.
any man who committed himself to the task certainly didn't hurt. It's not the most selfless of motives, I'll admit. But whatever it takes, eh? Now me, I never needed convincing. I became a soldier to protect the people I love. And the people I love include the ones standing before me.
Handsome and chivalrous.
Now, if you don't mind, I have sentries to post. Milady.
Lest you wonder, I'm not foolish enough to believe that this has solved all of my problems. But it has solved one, and that's one fewer than I had this morning. Thank you again, Clive.
Thank you. Det här var mycket kortare sidospår. Jag måste kolla. Jag upptäckte... Ja, så inte som var konstigt. Hur fan? Där, nu. Det blir nog jättetokigt här någonstans. Det är någonstans då blir det jättetokigt. Strunt samma. Det får jag titta på en annan gång. Så, vi klappar hunden när vi ändå står här. Så blir alla jättenöjda och glada. Get on with it. Open the world map of destruction. The Dalemil Iln. Är det här vi har 2 sidequests också, eller? Ja, just det. Det är ju där borta. Här har vi inte varit. Så då har vi en passage här vi inte har varit. Och några till, okej. Lubor.
Sid. Your new companion appears much more formidable than your uncle. Should I be worried?
9.
You haven't been introduced.
Jill, Clive has told me much about you.
All lies, I'm sure.
Your Stolas said that Dalamil has a bandit problem.
Indeed. Although, you're a little late. They left with our food and guild days ago.
Any idea where they went?
The desert's a big place. Your guess is as good as mine. But the fact is, I have more immediate concerns.
What did you say to me? What did you say?
Ah, as if by magic. Let's just say we've yet to reach a consensus about how to solve Dalamil's little problem. And at this rate, it won't be the actions of the bandits which prove to be our undoing. It will be our own. Now, I've tried reasoning with the dissenting parties, but even the Desert Hare has limits.
Perhaps we could talk to them.
What makes you think they'll listen to us?
What makes you think they won't?
She makes a fair point, Sid. And you won't have wasted much of your precious time if you fail. They're just across the courtyard.
Down the rabbit hole.
Suppose we just follow the shouting.
In på den här baren som vi slogs förut. En skorpion med en tunna runt. Okej. Skorpion in.
You wouldn't talk like that if it had been your men.
Det här med dubbla bälten modet köper inte jag riktigt.
We hire mercenaries and have them mount the bandits' heads on our walls as a lesson to the rest.
And what happens when those mercenaries are slaughtered like your men? Are you going to hire more? We're better off using that coin to buy food and supplies. If we hire mercenaries, the only thing we're buying is the bandit's ire. And you cannot fill empty bellies with that. Do you hear me?
But what happens when they come back? Maybe it'll be your throat that's slit.
That's enough. Both of you. Any more of this and I'll throw you out myself. Come back when you're ready to talk like adults.
Victor.
Jag funderar på...
What's he doing here?
Alltså, jag tänker innan vi går vidare här. Den här questen. Hur driver det här storyn vidare på något sätt? Mer än att vi får se att det är massa problem överallt.
What brings you here?
I was about to ask you the same thing.
Costness is in chaos, and the markets have all but ceased to operate. The Briar's Kiss here in Dalamil is the only place I can reliably obtain supplies. I was here to do just that when Master Lubor told me of his troubles. He thought I might be able to talk some sense into these fools. But if you're here, I suppose his patience must be waning.
Who are those people?
Those were the thorns in Lubor's side. And the reason this place might be headed the same way as Costness. It's these accursed skies.
Tjena Finland-fan! 240. Kommer du med en Volvo-modell på slutet? Hur är läget då? Hur är läget? Så här på kvällskvisten om man säger så.
I hope so. For all our sakes.
Jag försöker få så att det händer någonting. Din svenska är inte gud. Jag tycker än så länge så har du ingenting att skämmas för. Jag lovar att din svenska är bättre än min finska. Så att det är helt okej, säger jag bara. Helt okej.
So, you see my predicament?
What I saw was a room full of people who were angry and afraid.
Vad är ASAP eller något sånt där? Det är typ det man kan. Yxikaxi.
That anger and fear could set the entire town alight.
My thoughts exactly.
Det är lite skämmigt egentligen att man inte kan lite mer i finskan än eftersom vi grannländer vi ändå är liksom.
We are vulnerable.
And if there's one thing bandits like, it's an easy target.
What would Sid the Outlaw suggest?
Well, if it were my namesake.
Alltså det är ett svårt jävla språk. Ja, men jag har förstått det som av en halvfinne blir det då. Att när man ser ett finskt ord, om du bara uttalar alla bokstäver i ordet så är du ganska nära uttalet av ordet. Typ. Så fick jag det förklarat för mig. Så är det 2 an till exempel, då ska båda an sägas. Liksom.
It may still be possible to make them doubt their own before presenting them with a third option.
And that would be?
To pool our resources and save the city ourselves. Why fight each other?
Men nu har jag koll på finska mellolåten där som borde ha vunnit som alla säger. Tja! Tja, 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 tja. Hörde det för första gången typ förra veckan eller något sånt där. Jävla lirare.
Your faces are not well known in this town. That may prove useful.
Jag tänker när man tänker prata Finland och hårdrock så är det 3 band som kommer i huvudet. Det ena är ju då Nightwish, Stratovarius och sen är det Children of Bodom. Det är typ de 3. Jag vet inte, finsk black metal. Det är ingenting så ringer några klockor. Men det är de 3 som jag tänker på just att Stratovarius, alltså det var så något Arctica också så här power metal band. Inte typ Sentenced var därifrån också. Nu är jag djupt ner i mina kunskapskataloger om man säger så. Impale Nazarena, de har ju hört det i alla fall. Sargeist och Horrorna behäxan kan jag inte påstå att jag har superkoll på. Okej. Och sen har vi Lordi som ändå vann Mello om vi ska prata om det. Men...
May I introduce you to Jane, commander of the Red Wings, the oldest mercenary guild in the Free Cities.
Jag tror att det borde ha något mer här inne.
Pleasure is all mine.
As I told you,
ja, det är inte så viktigt vart banden kommer från alla gånger. Så länge musiken är bra liksom.
Victor says you told him no.
Bort ifrån när de är från Sverige då självklart. Då är det superviktigt.
True as the crystals cracked.
Måste kunna skryta över att alla att det är svenskt.
You know of the 7 high houses. There must be 2 score swords assigned each one.
Helt okej.
Det
behöver nog inte Google Translate Hail Satan.
Dalimil's finest cannot defend this town better than a gaggle of unblooded striplings. That a band of beardless youth.
Där förstår alla. Vi pratar bara om
Absolutely not.
Finska hårdrocksband.
We'll show those bastards who they're dealing with.
Jag vet inte, är Stratovarius typ aktiva?
Conrad's not what you call the brightest candle in the
Centern slår väl av, men de har säkert återförenats. Sen när en annan var aktiv inom den genren. Och Children of Bodom gick väl sången och dog, va? Eller något sånt där, eller?
My shop.
If I had my pickaxe, I would.
I mean, it may still be possible to buy something. Ah, here he is now.
Jag såg någon lista från någon random metal site. Jag svarar på den frågan strax, Finland färdig. Jag kan ta det på engelska om det passar dig bättre också, vad jag tycker. Där har rankade de 15 bästa svenska metalplattorna. Och för en gång skulle var ju inte At the Gates Lord of the Soul etta. Den var inte ens med på listan. De hade valt en annan At the Gates låt eller platta som kom 94, deras debut då. Men där var ju Dismember med, Like an Every Flowing Stream, Left on Path med Entombed. Det var lite äldre plattor och grejer. Men där var faktiskt The Crown med på den listan, topp 15. Så det var ju rätt schysst, Death Race King liksom. Final Fantasy 16, okay. If I like the game, you can say this is more like an action game than a role-playing game. So if you're normal, used to play Final Fantasy game, you will have this role-playing element all the time, but this game is like pure action game, I would say. The RPG elements are quite limited. It's you don't even get a choice. All you do is gaining experience, and you get up a level. You get a little bit stronger in every aspect of the game. More defense, you name it. But you don't really or can't affect the character enough to fit for it to be a role-playing game. Actually, in my opinion.
I'll do it. But you needn't have gone through this charade.
But the story is quite interesting. The world they have built is the mapping, if I may say so, is quite similar to how the map in Final Fantasy 12 was.
She saw right through it. I didn't say it was good.
The most boring character actually is the main character.
Now, my scouts should be returning
it's quite
shortly.
generic,
Meet me back at the Briar's Kiss,
but some sidekicks are quite interesting, and the cause we're fighting for is quite
Not convinced our roles in this
it's quite political in a sense, this game. So I would say that the story is okay, the graphic is what you expect from this type of game, but I would like to have this more a role-playing element in this game that is not exists anymore. It's in Final Fantasy 15 it was still a little bit role-playing, but they moved forward more and more to action. So if they had done this game a little more like the action is in Final Fantasy 14, it would have been actually a more role-playing game. But now it's more like a total action game, I would say. I have played Final Fantasy. I only mentioned the games I've beaten. I played beaten Final Fantasy 3. I played Final Fantasy 4. I played Final Fantasy 6. I beaten 7, 8, 9, 10, 10 to 12, 13, 13 to 15. And also I played quite a lot Final Fantasy 14, but not any current end game or anything like that. 7 is your favorite. It's mainly favorite. It's a great game. It's an awesome game. It's my favorite game. But I think you usually is the favorite game you have in Final Fantasy. If you're enjoying Final Fantasy, is usually the game that's the one you first played. So if you played Final Fantasy 6, most of them say Final Fantasy 6. I started playing Final Fantasy 7 was my first Final Fantasy game, and of course that's my favorite. I've seen those and heard talk to them that played Final Fantasy 8 first, think 8 is the best game and so forth. But I love Final Fantasy 7, 9 and 12 are those 3 games that I think are my favorite.
Good news, Sid. Both Conrad
you have played the remake before. Oh, that's quite unusual, actually. I understand if you're not
time no longer appears to be the luxury it was before lunch.
My age, if I may say so, middle-aged man. You weren't young enough to play this game when it originally released. So I understand that you didn't play that game when it was released. I think everybody should play that game. I have Final Fantasy 6 right next to me, so I want to play that game, but the time is quite limited. So
I have a favor to ask.
I think Final Fantasy 7 remake
the bandits march in 2 groups, one from the south and one from the desert. In a move, doubtless,
there was
intended to
so many
stretch our
parts in that
already
game that was a
gossamer-thin
filler,
defenses.
that was unnecessary for the story to tell.
and I will meet
That's
those from the desert.
some section of the game they could have just thrown out the window. That was totally unnecessary for anything.
The rest, my friend, the city shall fight.
So the pacing in that game is
Together.
quite awful, in my
Mistakes I
opinion.
concede are high.
But I love the characters, I love the story.
Will.
That is a lot
Even
of
if
faith to
it's
put into those
quite
who
a
had
large
their
step from
hands
the
around each
original.
other's throats but a moment ago.
Then it will
I
be
think
for us
isn't
to see that their hands are kept
the
occupied.
part
And I
2
do
releasing
mean
this year,
us.
this autumn?
I thought you might say that.
We'll hold them off for as long as we can.
And we will do the same.
This winter, yeah? A lot of Final Fantasy this year. Both 16 and part 2 of Final Fantasy 7 Remake. Protect the North Gates from bandits. Actually, this part I'm doing is part of the main story quest line, but I think it's quite boring, actually. Oh, thank for the follow! And the guy that's not slapping his stomach, the guy slapping his stomach is me, but the guy next to me is actually the war goat.